This video is going to tell us why we need to change Bitcoin, and it is sponsored by the World Economic Forum. Actually, a fellow Bitcoiner pointed out they wanted to know if this was satire or not. No, this is not satire. This is really from the World Economic Forum. Let's take a look at this tweet before we hit play. A change in the way Bitcoin is coded could almost eliminate its environmental impact. If you only change the code. Only.
You didn't pronounce it correctly, dude. Obviously.
What? Bitcoin?
You have to say it in Klaus's accent.
Oh. A change in the way Bitcoin is coded could almost eliminate its environmental impact.
And then it will enable the great reset.
We will all be slaves. We will all be slaves. But I'm saying that as Klaus. He's not saying we. Damn it! Stupid inclusion. Okay, here we go. Let's hit play. Let's watch this. Okay, we're not going to watch the whole thing because all they're going to do is tell us a whole bunch of stuff about Bitcoin we already know. I'm sorry?
No, I think we get the FUD by now.
Yeah, exactly, right? We get the FUD by now. So look, okay, before we continue with this, you saw what they said about Bitcoin's energy usage. We understand exactly what they're doing with this. I just wanted to point out from the watcher.guru account, this just in, Bitcoin network electricity usage dropped by 25% in Q1 2022 compared to the same period last year, according to a report by the BMC. So that is very interesting. And you know that the World Economic Forum isn't paying attention to that because, again, they're spinning the same narrative they spun with the internet. The internet's going to use all the electricity in the world, all the energy. Well, it's the same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going to destroy the world and it's going to boil the oceans. But the other point of this, I think what people are really maybe not seeing, and this is what I started to notice as I was watching this, is that they know for sure, they are telling us that they can't beat Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. They can't do it. They know that all their shitcoins aren't going to work. So what can they do now? They have to socially attack Bitcoin. Don't get me wrong. They can definitely get all of the countries to try and outlaw it and do all that stuff. And sure, it's going to affect the hash rate, cause the price to plummet, make it so people like us can stack even more. Okay, fine. But at the end of the day, they won't be able to stop it. So the only thing they can do now is coerce it. And this is what they're doing. They tried with the shitcoins, but they saw the resistance. Trust me, if all of a sudden they started to see great applause for their Ethereum and their Celo and all this garbage, they would have been thrilled. That's not what happened. Anyways, Nico?
Yeah, dude, spot on. And I just want to, I want to point out the importance of that tweet because it got ratioed, right? The comment section, they just absolutely blew it out of the water. We had some pretty big Bitcoin heavy hitters in there, including the Chad Sailor, and he even commented. So yeah, and this is the importance of Bitcoin Twitter, right? It allows this this narrative battle, right? They might be releasing this propaganda piece, but the comment section is open, right? So all it takes is just people to scroll down in the comment section. Why did this get ratioed? And just people debunking this already debunked information. I don't know how many times, right? And of course, they're trying to gaslight you. They're trying to, nail down those hitting points. Bitcoin uses more electricity in the country of Denmark. We already know, yes, that might be true, but Bitcoin is using energy that was already going to waste. That's why it's so cheap, stranded energy, right? If it wasn't stranded, then it would be too expensive. But you can't discount how these propaganda, these social attacks have been successful in some places. The European Union was on the verge of banning Bitcoin's proof of work, and the New York State Assembly, which is going to set a precedent, at least for the blue states in the United States, is almost, I think they has to pass the Senate, but they're going to ban proof of work within the New York State borders for the next 2 years, right? It's basically forever, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is and again, I think all these attacks are insincere. I think all these people know exactly what they're doing. They know it's not about the environment, right? If it was about the environment, they would would be allowing more Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is actually going to facilitate the, the development of green energies, which would not be profitable without government subsidies. Bitcoin allows them to be profitable, right? So yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit. But I think these people are going to try really hard. But man, they must be shaking right now. The Central African Republic, you have El Salvador, you have another country that kind of made it legal tender. We're going to talk about that today, right? So the dominoes are starting to fall, right? And these people must be shaken, because how are you going to stop that, right? Anyways, it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. Eric, what are your thoughts on Klaus, the Klaus social attacks?
It's just so ill-informed. Like, to me, the funniest thing is just that, Bitcoin is open source software, so you can change the code at any time, and numerous people can. So like, it's like on the merits of your idea. If you truly can make a decentralized currency that like fulfills all the needs of Bitcoin and uses like less electricity, and it like has all the merits of it, and that'd be great. That'd be fantastic. Fork the code and do it. If your idea is strong enough, then the market will reward you. But no one has figured it out.
That's the problem, right? Is so you sent a lot of signal there, right? There was a lead there. They want to use government coercion to try to force you to use something that the free market wouldn't use on its own accord. That's the terrifying part. They know that. They know they could fork it, but that's not at all what they're trying to advertise. They're saying, listen, governments, you have to coerce these people in order to force this code change that we're advocating for, which is absolutely terrifying, right?
Let's get ready. Let's get ready, because at some point we know. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say it, right? Like one of the devs, right? One of the devs for Bitcoin Core, any of the devs, a group of devs, who knows? Like it's like it's a social attack, right? It's coercion. This is big money. This is bigger than any of us can imagine. We're talking about the world, right? We're talking about the Bank of International Settlements. We're talking about the IMF.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, but like they're not just gonna. Anyways, it's about to get very, very dystopian and Black Mirror, and yeah, we're covering it.
I work with a lot of these people, man. I work on, this is like, so on my fiat job, I work on a blockchain team, and it's a lot of like R3 Corda and like Hyperledger, just like total bullshit. And a lot of them are like convinced that like proof of work is like an environmental disaster. And sometimes I sit on these fucking meetings, I'm just like, dude, proof of work is the innovation. Like that's the only fucking like valid use case for a blockchain is decentralized money. And it works because of proof of work. And like you guys just don't fucking get that. Like,
no, they don't understand. It's like proof of stake. It's like they might as well just use a database, right? Like at that point, like, and they're also advocating for a system that Ethereum hasn't even implemented yet. Like they're advocating for something that does not exist, right? It's like, it's absolute lunacy. And this really makes me believe, right? And I struggled with this, and Phil actually saw me. I was like, dude, because at first you have to give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're just morons, right? But there's just so much evidence and things that pop up. It's like these people are doing it because they want to control other people. They're not doing it for the climate or the other bullshit. They're doing it because Bitcoin is the only thing, because of proof of work, that they cannot influence.